Do pets go to heaven after they die? This is a question that has comforted some, troubled others, and been asked by countless people who have loved and lost a faithful pet. But what if there is more beyond the curtain of time than we can see? Could the Bible already contain the answers, like the Apostle Paul, who was caught up into the third heaven, 2 Corinthians 12:2-4? William Branham testified that he was taken into another realm. While Paul was not permitted to describe everything he saw, William Branham said he was allowed to share his testimony for the encouragement of God's people. In this video, William Branham shares his remarkable experience of being taken beyond the curtain of time and reveals what he witnessed in that glorious realm. He did not only speak of seeing the redeemed saints. He also witnessed something that has caused many believers to ask profound questions about life after death, including the place of animals in God's eternal purpose. As you listen, we will carefully compare his testimony with the Scriptures. If you have ever wondered where believers go after death, what lies beyond this life, or whether our faithful pets have a place in God's plan, stay with us until the end. You may discover that the Bible has more to say than you ever imagined.
There was a little line of criticism I got the other day in the mail. It might pass it on while we're trying to adjust their feeling. Any minister knows you have to say something or other, kind of adjust yourself to the audience and the audience to you. There was a businessman packed the article in the businessman's voice of a little, I think we're just going to call it a vision. And it was a little different usually from visions I have.
One of the strongest criticisms he received was about the pets he said he saw in heaven. Stay with us as we examine how he answered that criticism, not with personal opinion, but by pointing directly to the Scriptures.
I had been taken from where I was at, didn't look to me much further than the roof of that building. And there I was in another place where I seen all those who had passed on. Many of you read the article, of course. And in there, after he had told me them was who they were, and they all were young again, and they were real. I always was afraid to die, not afraid that I'd be lost, but I didn't want to be a spirit. I want to be a human man, because I always understood as a man, shake people's hands, and I think, what if I'd get there and I meet Brother Rose, and he'd be a little white cloud or something. I know it was Brother Rose by some other sense, but I couldn't shake his hand, I couldn't talk to him. Or I'd wonder, wouldn't that be awful? But I thought then when I return back, of course, I'll have a resurrection. That scripture had never occurred to me before, that if this earthly tabernacle be dissolved, we have one already waiting. So that morning I'd gotten up, I was thinking, boy, you're 50 years old. If you're going to do anything for the Lord, you better hurry up. You're going to be too old after a while. And all at once I was caught up into this place and could look back and see myself down here. Never had that experience. Many times I've had visions of seeing myself standing somewhere, and then, if you don't understand it, you'd think you'd lost your mind. You're here watching yourself there, and then you leave here and you're in yourself there. It's maybe way back years ahead and so forth. It's hard to explain. You can't explain it. You can't explain God. You got to believe Him. See, if you can explain it, then it's no more faith. You just have to believe it. And after he had told me, seeing all these people, and they had bodies, they couldn't be sin, a man and women. Those women were hugging me, and they were women. But there were no possibility of ever being sin again, because, see, the glands of our bodies will be changed there. We're different sect now, because that's for reproducing the world and our marriage to bring children. But then there'll be no more need of that. There'll be no more children born. We won't have sex glands in the new world. See? Not at all. But yet the woman will be woman, and the statue, and so will man be man. But there will be no more male and female among them in that way. And them glands won't be in, so there'll be no way of all for Satan to ever play another trick on them. So in that I noticed these women run up and throw their arms around me and say, "Our precious brother, I am so happy that you are here." And it was amazing. All of them young, all the most prettiest women, long hair, dresses long, like robes, white, silk-like robes, and how pretty they look. And then here come brethren, just in the most handsome man I ever seen. Looked like all of them about 20 years old. And their eyes sparkly, they just every ounce of man. And I wondered, and they were picking me up and hugging me and saying, "Our precious brother." I wonder how. I looked back down and could see myself down here yet laying down. I said, "I want to see Jesus." Said, "He's higher than this. Someday He will come. And you'll be judged by the gospel that you preached, because you was the leader." I said, "Well, will Paul have to be judged by his crowd?" He said, "Yes." I said, "I preached the same gospel he did. Just exactly the way he said it, that's the way I said it." And then millions of voices screamed out, "We're resting on that." Then a strange thing happened. I used to have a little saddle horse, and I called him Prince. How I loved that little old horse. I used to ride him every morning before school and run my traps. And I seen this little old horse come up to me and lay his head across my shoulder and nicker. I patted him. I said, "Prince, I knew you'd be here." I felt something lick my hand. It was my old coon dog. He put me in school, furnished my clothes, hunting. I said, Fritz, I know you'd be here too." Then I felt something happen. I was going back. I was wrote in the Christian Businessman's Voice, and a minister wrote me the other day. He said, "I appreciated that vision, Brother Branham. It sounded all very good till you mentioned horses. Heaven is made for human beings. There's no such a thing as horses in heaven." Well, I answered him back, I said, "Brother, I never said I was in heaven. I was asking where Jesus was, and He was still beyond." I said, "But if it might help you a little, in the book of Revelation it says when Jesus left the heavens of heavens, He was riding a white horse. And all the host of heaven was following Him on white horses." So that was coming from heaven of heavens. And what made me feel so good, when I started to go back, he said, "All that you ever loved and all that ever loved you, God has given to you. Some bright day on the other side, it'll be different. You just can't afford, people, to miss that place. Don't do it. Whatever you do, don't be afraid. There's no need of being scared. There's nothing to be afraid of.